Good morning, everyone, or I guess it's sometimes afternoon, wherever you are in the world. It is Tech for Senior Live. It is I guess it's the 3rd of February. We're into February already. Wow, that's pretty cool. So welcome, and it is, we have today, of course, Huey Poplik, Ray Baxter, and Bob Gostisha with us today. I'll talk to you about them. I'll introduce them in just a minute, but I want to welcome everybody for coming. Tech for Senior Live is our show on Thursday where we talk over the news. We sit and have some coffee. We're going to sit and have a cup of Java and sit and talk about life in general, and then we're going to go over the news articles that we have posted. Each of the four of us today have posted news articles this week on our Facebook page. And so if you are out and about and you're looking for the current news, technology news, you may want to just pop over to our Facebook page, because that's where we keep all the current articles we post each day. And so that's where we're going to be doing today. And then, of course, we have our big show on Monday, which is our Tech for Senior, which is it's a Zoom meeting. So it's a Zoom meeting that's broadcast to YouTube. This meeting, of course, is not a Zoom meeting. It's a meeting that is broadcast through StreamYard to Facebook and YouTube. So if you're confused and you're in our Zoom meeting and you're wondering where the heck you are, you're in the wrong place. Come on back over to just go to our website, www.techforsenior.com, and I have a button there. Just click that button and it'll take you right to this show. So you're in the right spot. And of course, welcome if you're listening to this tomorrow. It is of course being taped and will be put on our podcasting service, which is great. So it's going out. We're sort of excited about it. It's a new service we're starting, and I think we've got about 4 podcasts up there, and they're doing quite well, and people are listening and so on and so forth. So that's good. That's great. And if you are listening today, and you let's see up here, and if we're looking at people who are if you put your name in and say where you're from or what the temperature is, and we'll certainly bring those up. Just hold on a sec. Just hold them for a sec, Huey, and we'll. I just want to introduce everybody, because of course maybe there's some people on the podcast network that don't know who we are, and I thought I would just introduce everybody. Of course. Let me talk about Huey Poplik first. Huey, where are you from? You're from the farthest away, because remember, there's 4 people today here, and we're all across the countries. I guess we'll have more than one country. So where the heck are you from?
I'm in Bradenton, Florida, just south of Tampa and north of Sarasota.
Yeah,
and it's balmy today. It only dropped down to 65 during the night, and it's going to 80 today.
Great. Now, Huey, of course, is my co-host on Tech for Senior on Monday. So we have a lot of fun on our show on Monday, right?
Absolutely. We have a lot of fun putting it together, too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun doing that. And we've been doing that now. We're up to, 97 or 98 episodes, almost coming up to 100 episodes now. Eh?
Yeah, almost 104 is 2 years.
Yeah, it'll be season 3 pretty soon.
Yeah.
All right, and the next person, as we move across the country, let's move across the country. In snowy old New Mexico is Bob Gostisha. And Bob, you're not looking very happy this morning. You got to go out and shovel some snow. What's going on there?
No. I don't shovel. I'm in New Mexico. Wait a couple of days, it'll disappear.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. But this morning, white outside. And I woke up, it was 6 degrees this morning.
Ooh,
Okay. Yeah, right. We
right.
moved here from New York to get away from the cold, and we are a heck of a lot colder than New York has been the whole entire season. So,
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. And then, of course, moving along to balmy old Pine, Arizona, we, of course, have Ray Baxter. Ray is also a regular on our Tech for Senior Monday show. He is our music expert. He is the toe tapping guy that always creates the great music that we listen to every week on our show on Monday. And Ray is in Pine, Arizona, which I Mesa's warm. What's going on in Pine? It's up in the mountains. What's going on there now?
Yeah, if you look on the map of Arizona, Pine is basically equidistant between Phoenix and Flagstaff. So
Right.
you're right, we're in the mountains. It's about 5,500 feet elevation here, and it's 36 now. It was in the low 20s. But the great thing about this area is there's rarely, in the 15 years I've lived here, I can count on one hand the number of daytime when the temperature was below freezing. Daytimes are always in the 40s, even 50s in the winter. So that's what's nice.
There you go.
And Ron, where are you?
Well, I'm on an island off the west coast of Canada. So if you go all across, I'm on the other side. After me, there's Hawaii, right? And so I'm on Vancouver Island in a place called Comox, and the temperature today is 36 degrees. It's a bit nippy out. So it's not balmy, but I live on the water, and it's quite a temperate climate. So we don't often get snow or ice or nasty weather. So indeed, we are from across a long way away, but yet we can all come together with technology and have a great time. It's really, really quite amazing. A few years ago, we probably couldn't have done that or wouldn't know how to do it, but with the technology today, it's pretty crazy, eh?
well,
Anyway, should we maybe talk to a few people and let's see where they're from? Let's have a look. Good morning, Dick Vogel. Right, Jolin's here. Great, from South Carolina. Jolin, of course, does a lot of computer tech work. We know Jolin very well. Hi, Jolin. Welcome. And Steve Powell. Hi from Kirkland. Yes, Washington. Joan is from Victoria. Hi, Joan. And Richard Clarkson, no improvement for those watching. You don't respond to comments either during the show or after. You don't respond to comments.
We do. That's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
I think you might be talking about the Monday show, but we do have a Q&A for that after the show for that.
Yeah. Bob Baxter, Bellevue, 43 and light rain. Right. And Sally is from Kirkland, Washington, 43 degrees with Wayne. Lots of people. Yeah, Gerald from West Seattle. Lots of people from Washington. What is the podcast service and use the name of it? Jolin, it's Tech for Senior, and so you should be able to search it on all the podcast networks. Just type in Tech for Senior, and it should come up as a search. So it's
Ron does the work on it with Anchor, and then Anchor sends it out to. I watch it or listen to it on Stitcher or Spotify.
Right. It's actually Tech for Senior Live. So so that's her. Good. Marie, of course, says good morning from Victoria, BC. Glad I found the link to this morning to join in. Great. Thanks, Marie. Welcome to see you. The continent, Ron, the continent. Hi, from snowy Ohio, Liz Milford. JJ is snow in Waukegan, 16 degrees. Ooh, that's cool. Waukegan, yeah. And greetings from Trenton. Clark Walker, greetings from Trenton, New Jersey. 40 degrees Fahrenheit and raining. Oh, okay. Jeannie Garrick, 80. Oh, Central Florida, 80 degrees. Dick's 70 degrees. Yeah. Jolin, 68. Oh, really? So that's pretty cool. Olive is from Oregon. Hi. Samuel Hill, hello from Phoenix.
Good friend of mine.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's why he's
And
here.
Stu Bordoff, Dunedin, Florida. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just north of Clearwater.
Right. Is that up on the Panhandle?
No,
No,
no, no,
that's
no,
not
no.
Tampa.
Just, no,
No.
just north of me.
Just
Yeah,
okay. All right.
My birth mom
Okay.
used to live there.
Right. And Bill is from High Oregon again on a Chromebook. Well, there you go. Dorothy, of course, is from Cashway, is from Victoria. Rainy day. John says, thank you, Ron. Stan Wallner, Orlando, 76.5 degrees. Sunny Orlando, we hit 28 degrees Saturday night.
Yeah, it was a cold weekend.
Stan Wallner, Sunday AM. John Bowler, Anchor Podcast. Thank you, Huey. And Murray says, and in Victoria, the snow is rare and usually melts fast. Like Comox, our summers are usually very dry and we don't get much high heat. Big advantage of Victoria is no mosquitoes, black flies, deer flies, or horse flies. Well, we have a big sign outside our community. We don't allow them in. We have a big sign saying, no horse flies, black flies, deer flies. And they read. We have intelligent insects around here, so they don't come in. So we never have any.
You haven't lived till you come to Florida and experience love bugs.
Love bugs.
Up here, we call them no-see-ums.
Oh, yeah. I remember those, yeah. John says, cool, found Tech for Senior live podcast on Google Podcasts. Yep. That's right. Yeah. So, we are on all the podcast networks. We and I've checked all of them, and I've actually found us on all the networks. So, anyway, but this is also taped, so you can also watch this. This streams to, of course, Facebook and YouTube. So it's taped as well on those services. So if you want to watch again, you can watch it on those services as well.
Yeah, there's a big Podfest coming up in Orlando. I think it's next month. It's not cheap. It's a few $100s to go. Plus, I think it's just it may be just one day. So it might not, but you might need to stay over. I can't remember if it was more than one day or not. But it's going to be all about podcasting. And then they also have a VidFest for video casting too. So it should be an interesting couple of days or day, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to go or not. So
I'm going to be doing a couple more segments on podcasting on Tech for Senior on Monday. I did the podcasting with Google. I did that a couple of weeks ago, but I'll be doing some more on that as well as I sort of go through the podcasting experience.
There's also a podcast. There's also a podcast out there called Cybersecurity with Bob G.
Who's that?
Somebody I used to run into quite often.
Bob's been doing it for a long time. Bob's a seasoned podcaster. He's my go-to guy that I always ask questions about. How do I do this and how do I do that? Because Bob's been doing it for an awful long time. So how long have you been podcasting for, Bob?
A couple of years.
Couple of years, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so listen, I've got some videos for you. You know how I like to show you some little gadgets and see what you think of them. So I got a few for you guys, so we can actually have a look at them. Okay. So let me see if I can find them here, and let me come down to our video. Okay. Now the first one, I don't know if you've seen this. The first one I'm going to show you is a very interesting product. In fact, it was not a GoToFundMe. It was a what do you call it? Where you put the money down before the project has started.
Crowdfunding.
Yeah, it was crowdfunded, and I think it is now available on Amazon. Have you seen the toilet bowl cleaner Shine? Have you seen this one? This is no one likes cleaning their toilet bowls, right? So this is actually a product that this is the old way in which we used to clean it, and then this is the Shine. This is the device, and what happens is that you can put it on any part of your toilet bowl, like you'll see it here, and then it squirts oxidized water into the toilet. And it's the oxidized water is of course a cleaner, and you just make the water. There's a cartridge you put in the top, and then you fill it with water, and it just makes the spray that goes into the toilet, and it's an oxidized water, and it cleans the bowl and keeps it clean, so you never have to do anything. And it runs around, I think it's around 50 or 60 bucks. I was going to buy one of these because I thought that was so cool. It just stays clean all the time. So it's basically a unit that you don't need water, you don't need to hook it up to it. It's got batteries in that run it. It's just a line that goes down to the toilet. You clip it on, and then it squirts this oxidized water around the bowl. And because it's and the oxidization occurs with the cartridge, you do have to buy a replaceable cartridge. You put it in, and then fill it up with water, and then it creates this, and it squirts it around. It keeps the bowl really clean. I thought that was so cool. And you don't need electricity, and you don't need water. Like you don't need plumbing or electricity to put this in. It's just and you can put it wherever you want. And they're not expensive. I think it's around 50 or 60 bucks. And then the cartridges aren't that expensive. So but since it's a crowdfunding, they wouldn't send it to Canada, so I couldn't get it. But I thought this was really cool. Anyway, you're going to see lots more about this. The product is called Shine, SHINE. And I think it's going to go into production, and you're going to see a lot about this because I think it's a pretty good product.
So even with the power failure, you can keep your bathroom clean or
Absolutely.
your toilet bowl clean.
That's absolutely
Pretty
right.
good.
That's absolutely so watch for that, because that's going to be a cool one. Now the next one is something I know everyone's going to want.
Before you go on to the next one, I would like to say something about crowdfunding. I've had pretty good luck. Everything that I've purchased, except one item, I've really liked, and I got it. I got them all. One of them lasted a couple of months and then died, and then they said they couldn't replace it. So,
Huey, do you want to just maybe mention to people what crowdfunding is? Because there may be some people out there that don't understand what crowdfunding is.
They advertise the product before they even build it. They have some prototypes. They show you what it's going to do, and then you purchase it before they even develop it or finish developing it and manufacturing it. That gives them enough money to be able to do that. And so you're funding the company, but not investing in the company. What you're doing is you're purchasing the product before it's even manufactured or still in design, and hopefully, and the possibility of it never being a product looms as well. So you could lose your money. So in an essence, it is an investment. But as soon as you're one of the first ones to receive it, once they do go to manufacture, and I'm waiting for two now that I've invested in. One's been almost a year, the other one's been a few months, and they say it should be shipped this month. And that one has no electronics in it at all, but it still came from China, and it's still, because of the slowness of everything getting here and things sitting out in the ocean, it sometimes can take a while before they get shipped.
And they usually have several platforms at which you can get in on the crowdfunding. Right. So, of course, the less you pay, the lower down the line you are when it's finally shipped to you.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the next one. You're gonna want this for sure. Watch this. Now, this is a license plate holder, but it stores your keys. So it opens and closes. There's a code on the side, so it's a digital code, and as you see on the side there, and you punch the code in. You can lock it or unlock it with your smartphone, and then of course it will track your car if it's stolen. It's pretty solid. You'll see that in this case, it's solid. When you can drive over it. And you can store your keys in there. And again, if your car is stolen, it's got a tracker on it. And these are actually in production now, and it's about $150 for that device. But it tracks. There's electronics in it, So I thought that was pretty cool.
And I can't think of anything that somebody would use that for illegal stuff at all.
Yeah, you're right.
$150 is kind of steep, though. I'd rather keep the key in my pocket.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, we don't even use keys anymore because your smartphones usually open and close your car, right? We don't. I think
Well,
we
not,
we
not,
need
not,
them both.
not, not in the cars that we drive, Ron.
Yeah.
Ron.
Yeah. All right.
No.
All right. Now this one you will want because this is the final one. This you're going to want this. This is only $50. Okay. And that's $50 Canadian. So this would be probably less on, well, for sure less on the US site. But this is sort of cool. Watch this. These are emergency lights for your car, and they're electronic lights, and they clip onto your car. They're magnetic, and you get a series of I think there's 4 in the and you just for emergency lights, and you just clip them onto your car, and they turn around and they blink, and you get a package of 4 of them in this little bag, and they're for if you get stuck out on the road, instead of trying to use those stupid flares, click the flares or whatever and get those going, which are always out of date and don't work. I thought that was pretty cool.
What's it called, Ron, for those on the podcast?
Pardon me?
For those on the podcast, what is it called?
Those I'm not sure what the company was called, but they're lights. They're emergency lights that were. I'll put the link in the podcast. I'll put the link to these so you can click on, and it'll take you to the sites where you can look down. These are emergency lights for your car, and I thought they were sort of cool. And is there? All right. Well, I guess we should probably get to work, eh? What do you think? We should start looking.
Let's find. I bet there's some things out there.
There could be. Hey, do we have any more comments here before we get over to?
Oh yeah, I got quite a few as a matter of fact.
Joe has been active.
Let's see here. Let's go here. All right.
Jolin says, I agree. Kickstarter.
Yeah, I'll go back.
I agree, Huey. Both Kickstarter and
Indiegogo.
Yeah. Do you use one or the other? Have you used both or what?
I've used both.
Okay. Jolin says, I've been pleased with those that have been fully funded, produced, and fulfilled. Yeah, fulfilled.
The camera you're seeing me on was an Indiegogo.
That's a lot of them don't go into mass production. You get them, but they don't actually go into production. Is that your experience, or
no? They become available once these start shipping. Then they continue making them, and you can find them either on their websites or sometimes on Amazon or other sites.
Right. Okay. Steve says, I got the Edifer Neobuds Pro with Indigo. Awesome product. I think those are earbuds, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Am I missing something? I don't see these posted on Facebook. Oh,
those what you just showed. No, they aren't on Facebook.
I haven't quite figured that out yet. How I can post? I can't post anything before the show starts, so I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, Jolin. I'm going to work on that. Murray, I accidentally drove over my wife's iPad Mini 4 times several years ago. It still works now, though I can no longer be updated because it's too old. But it still survived the driving over it. Bought a set over a year ago.
Not sure a set of what.
I'm not sure a set of what. JJ, what did you buy?
And that's it.
All right.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the news.
Emergency lights. All right, let's do some work. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over and talk about news articles for the past week. These are articles that we've all posted, and we're going to sort of put them up on the screen. If you want to go over to our Facebook page, you can see the articles. They're right on our page now. So if you want to pop over there, you can certainly see them. Let me just share my screen, and we'll see where we go here. I'll just make this a little bigger, and we can maybe see how this goes. There we go. Let's see if that's reasonable. Okay, let's go down and we'll have a look. Well, guess who got the first article here today? Bob, you rascal, you. Stolen Netflix accounts. Do you want to enlighten us on stolen Netflix accounts?
Yeah, this is a little tutorial that can help you if it's never happened, to make sure it doesn't happen. And if it has happened, how to recover from it.
And it is having your Netflix account stolen?
Correct.
Oh, okay. And now you've put a link in there. This is, of course, your video, and you could also get it on your site as well.
Yes.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, I haven't. I see Netflix has gone up. I got a notice today saying, "Dear happy customer, we're raising your rates." I don't know. Did you guys get it as well?
Yeah,
I'm not a subscriber, but the 4K version of Netflix now is up to $20 a month.
Ouch.
Yeah. Ouch. All right. And then, of course, Huey Poplick. What's this all about? Can you?
An old collage program still works. I've been looking for a collage program that allows you to freeform cut photos and then paste them together to make a nice collage. Most of the collages, everything is squared off, rectangles and so on. And then sometimes you can then make a shape out of the entire collage, but each one is kind of squared off. What this program did was it allowed you to cut around any part of the picture that you wanted and then piece it together in any form that you wanted to. And I actually in the article that's posted it's pointing to an article on my blog. I show you one I put together, but I also show you the program. But this program goes back, and I haven't been able to find another program that did this, and I couldn't remember the name of it. I was cleaning out my closet to make room for some new stuff and got rid of some of the old stuff. And I found the original disc. And so before I installed it, I backed up my system because it was at least 15 years since I got the program. So I didn't know what it would do if I try to install it. I have it's on a CD disc, and I have a USB CD DVD player, which is mighty slow. I think it's a 1X. And so I backed up my system. I plugged in the USB. I tried to copy the file several times. It finally copied. And I got the install file on my hard drive and then installed it from my hard drive because I really didn't trust trying to install it from the CD. It installed and it ran. And I actually created a collage using it. And I actually show the one that I did. I took some of the pictures from last week's show that I went to. And it's amazing. 15 years ago, we couldn't increase the program is 1024 by 768. And it's full screen, it's either full screen or it's minimized. So it's either, so on my 1920 by 1024 screen, it doesn't fill the screen up. And there's no way I can make it full screen to do it. But
what's the program called, Huey?
It's called Scrapbook Creator from a company called ArcSoft.
Right.
And I went, ArcSoft still exists with the same logo. So I know it's the same company, but they don't do software anymore. And so there's nothing about their programs and this program in particular, anywhere's on their site. I found a couple of sites that you can download the shareware version. I don't know how limited the shareware version is, but there's no way to register it and get it up to date. The copy that I have from the CD says retail version in the title as to do the install. So, and then I made a copy of the CD, and you'll see a picture. I actually, in the article, I actually did a copy of the CD, so you'll see a picture of the CD. That's what the program looks like, and that's the collage working on it, and that's what it looks like with all the little ones cut in different shapes, and then one on top of another in any way I want it. And I like that as a collage
program today that does that.
There is not a program that does it.
Really?
I cannot find one. Maybe some of the users here can find something like that, but I haven't been able to.
Amazing.
And so I will continue to use it as now on my computer. Anyway, I wanted to share
program.
that. I wanted to share the fact that I found a 15-year-old program that was designed to run on Windows XP, and it's now running on Windows 11 with no problem.
There you go. You're an amazing person, Huey. Ray, Android Auto dongle sells out instantly on Amazon. What's this all about?
All right, I think this the device was somebody mentioned it a week or two ago, and what it does is with Android Auto currently, and this what Android Auto does is you plug your smartphone, your Android phone, into the USB connection in your car, and this Android screen will now appear on the head unit, and that's nice if you have all your stuff on Android and you want to easily convey it rather than using the system that came with the car. But some people didn't like it because it's the wire goes from your phone to the unit, and it's there. So this way, you plug it into the dongle. You put the dongle in, say, in your center console, and now there's no wires in your car, and it allows you to. They say that it brings wireless Android Auto to cars. Is designed to cut down on the number of interactions you have with your smartphone, so you can keep your eyes on the road. And I think because we live in the world of wireless everything, this has become so popular. So it was the day it was put on Amazon, it sold out.
Wow!
But they are going to come out with another supply very, very, very shortly.
And I guess this would work on old cars too, right?
Well, your car has to have a USB connection inside of it.
Right.
In most of, I used to have a 2008 vehicle that had one, so that concept has been around for a while.
Well, if you have a car that has a cigarette lighter, you can get a plug-in with a USB on it. So any car, even the old ones, they all had cigarette lighters.
Power adapter.
Power adapter. Yeah. Cool. All right. So more. How much was it? Do you know what it cost, Ray? What was the cost?
I think it was about $30.
Oh, $30. Okay. Huh. Cool. Oh, vinyl. Oh, vinyl records. You know what I was going to tell you, Ray? I don't know if it in Costco in Canada, the monthly special this month, they have a Sony record player that can. I think it's digital as well, but you put records in, and it's made by Sony, and it connects to your system USB, I think, and it was on the Costco website for sale, and it was So I thought, records. You're always talking about records.
Well, I've had one of those phonographs for over 10 years now, and they're pretty popular. The phonograph comes with a USB connecting, and as you play your vinyl record in real time, it records it as an MP3 on your computer. And then the Sony program that comes with it is a hit and miss, but it actually can identify when there's a space between the songs. So if it's a 10 tracks, it's say 6 tracks on one side, it'll come out and it'll give you then the opportunity to type in the information about the song and the name of the album, etc. So when it's in your computer, you have all the metadata right there. But this was an article that said that, and it's from the MRC Data Billboard, that 41 million records were sold in 2021. That's up 51% from the 27 million records that were sold in 2020. So this is the largest year for vinyl sales since they began tracking in 1991. Now, one of my favorite artists, Little Anthony, he once said there are just 2 kinds of people in the world. And in this case, there are those who are collectors. And a collector wants to own their music. They want to own the media. They want to be able to hold it in their hands. And then there's people who are renters. They're happy to rent the music for the wonderful convenience of being able to pretty much listen to any tune anywhere at anytime you want. So I fit into both categories. But I'm still amazed at the resurgence of vinyl records, how they've really come back.
Yeah. Now there was a big problem with production of them because the production companies, there was only one now that was able to actually provide the stuff. Is that changed at all? Are they changing and getting more available?
Yes, there's other companies that have come into existence now. They're using a little bit of a different technology that's allowing them to make the vinyl records much faster. But you're correct, Ron. There's still a backlog. So artists like Adele, they go to the front of the line, and some of the smaller people have to wait longer.
Interesting. All right. And then, of course, you have the next. Oh, you've been busy, Ray. What's the next article here?
All right. Let me see. Which one was this? Is the one on? Oh yeah. This is wireless. Yeah. So
wireless phone giants are stealing internet customers from cable.
Now, this is an article from Bloomberg, and it's pointing out that with 5G radio frequencies, the phone companies, and this is mainly T-Mobile and Verizon, they're grabbing a larger share of home internet subscriptions from the cable TV operators. In 2021, 3.7 million new broadband customers signed up by the 5 biggest cable and telephone companies. 22% went to wireless connections. Now, this is all coming about because of fiber optics, and fiber optics works differently than the coaxial cables. I still think, in my opinion, though, that the data caps that the phone companies have are really going to hold many people back from converting to a phone company going from a cable company, where the cable company is pretty much unlimited.
But what's happening is really what we're talking about here is fixed base 5G. And this is where the the phone companies are using the 5G service and broadcasting it out. And there really is, most Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile all have that service, and they just the same as having cable at home, except you're getting it through the wireless. And I think that's probably what you're seeing here.
But don't you think there's data limits that the phone companies are saying that if you want this service, they have different price ranges for the data, whereas with a cable company, it's you don't have that. You pay a flat fee no matter how much you use.
Right.
That depends on the cable company. There are now cable companies that put limits on the amount of data or caps.
Anyway, it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
Yeah, interesting.
More competition is always good.
Yeah. All right. Now, Huey, I published this, but I wanted your comment on this. This was an interesting article. As you know, Huey is always giving us updates on SpaceX and what's happening. But of course, SpaceX has a rocket that is heading towards the moon and is going to crash onto the moon. Now, the question is, who owns the moon, and could SpaceX get sued for that, right? Because now we have space junk on the moon. So who's going to go and clean it up? So the article talked a little bit about that, and they're actually...
Is this being put out by attorneys?
I don't know. It was futurism.com, but I thought, well, interesting. Now, there actually was, if you go back and you look at the article, there was a treaty that everybody signed. Yeah, in 1966, there was actually an outer space treaty, Convention on International Liability for Damage Caused by Space Objects, and this was signed in like 1966.
3 years before we went to the moon.
Yeah. So what we're concerned, people were concerned about was what happens if you send a rocket up and it goes around and it crashes into another rocket and destroys it. So there is compensation for that. That's no problem. And so if you knock someone else's rocket down, that's a bad thing, or satellite. But no one's really, and I suppose if this hits the moon and crashes into and destroys China's new rover they've got on the moon, then they would owe money to China. But if it just ends up as junk on the moon, who owns the moon? And I thought that was, I don't know. Have you read any articles about that, Huey?
Isn't it the man in the moon that has to be paid?
I don't know.
I follow SpaceX only with the Starlink. I have not. They've got so many things going. I really haven't followed.
All right. Well, anyway, this is going to crash in March. It's going to hit the moon, and is going to be a big kaboom. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I thought that was interesting. just wanted to let everybody know and remind everybody, of course, that the new Galaxy S22 phone will be released next week. And this is the big announcement, is the S22. And it will, this is an article about what it is. And of course, they're leaking everything. And the S22 is going to have a pen that's going to come with it, a lot like the old Note system that they had. But the thing that's crazy about this is the starting price of this phone will start at around $1,800 US. I thought, okay, that's an interesting amount. So anyway, more on this later, but this is the big event that will be coming next week. And of course, Samsung is one of the leading cell phone makers in the world today. So,
and of course, if you bought a Samsung Galaxy S21, it's now going to be an old phone.
Yeah.
Ron, I know that 18 is a lucky number, but I don't know about 1,800.
Yeah. Well, now here, let me throw this out to you guys. I mean, I have my Pixel 3, and I bought it 4 years ago. So let's see, that'd be about $400. Be about $400 or $500 a year. So that's about $50 a month. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think is that a lot for a phone of that caliber? I guess you have to, you have to say, well, something I use every day. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there, but this will be an expensive phone.
I swallowed hard.
The people who buy a phone like that are the ones that buy a new phone every year.
I swallowed hard before I bit on the Pixel 6, and that's not anywhere near 1,800. Now we're getting double that amount.
I know.
For those that just use the phone for phone calls, that's a little pricey.
Yeah. So maybe in the chat, if anyone can, here, do we have anything more in the chat that's happening?
Oh yeah, I got quite a bit out there.
Let's do some chat stuff. If just let people know that if you are going to buy an S22, would you let us know? We really like to interview you. Jolyn says, I love having Android Auto in my Hyundai. Oh, really? Okay, Jolyn's got Android Auto. Cool. Okay. Dick says, I have an Ion turntable that came with all the necessary software to connect it to the USB port on my computer, digitize it, and store the music on the computer. Cool, neat, Dick. That's great. You can get an unlimited data plan for some of the cable companies.
True.
Indeed.
Well, most.
JJ says, Google Picasso was able to make, oh, really? Collages. Right. Okay.
Well, a lot of the programs make collages, but they don't do what I wanted. And that was to be able to cut a picture in any format that or any shape that you wanted.
Right.
I make collages all the time in Google Photos, but like Huey said, you're very limited in what you can do. It makes a collage. That's it. There's no customizations. You can't even pick which picture comes up where. You have to take your chances.
Huey, can you run that back? Run it back.
The last one had to do with just liking if you can, like our program. If you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, please give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, give it a like. Yeah, that's great. Is that it then for those?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I hope everybody's enjoying us and not going to sleep.
They're intently listening.
This was an article that I saw this morning, and I thought it was interesting. As you know, Google One, if you subscribe to Google One, there is a VPN service that comes with that. And this is now is going to be available on your Android phones, or I'm sorry, your Apple phone. So your iPhone. So if you had like, suppose for example, you had a Google account and you did have Google One, but you had an iPhone and wanted a VPN, then you're able to use Google's VPN service on your iPhone. Now, Bob and I reviewed this, and we talked about this before on this show. And one of the concerns that people have about using a VPN service from someone that your internet sort of where you're getting all your information from and storing your data is not maybe such a good idea, right, Bob? I mean, there is some theoretical conflict here if Google's providing the VPN service, right?
I use Google One, but I do not use the VPN, even though it's available for free as part of paying for Google One.
Right. Yes. So anyway, so if you don't know what Google One is the add-on service. It's sort of an add-on pack to your Google account that will give you more data storage in the cloud, and with that comes a bunch more features that you get. And so the VPN service is certainly one of the features. It's not very expensive. Was it $30 to increase your data? What was it about 30 or $40 for the year or something like that, Bob?
It came out a whole lot cheaper doing that than to keep paying for an increase in the amount of information that they'll store for you, because you are limited to 15 gigs, and that runs out pretty darn quick.
Right.
Also, with it, you don't have to have your pictures shrunk. You can use them full size.
Right, with Google Photos, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, good point. With Google Photos, you can keep them full size. You don't have to. Yeah, and that's the other thing. I think there's an article coming up. We might not get to it, but if you have, like I do, the Pixel 3, then the free unlimited size of your pictures is gone away this month. I think it was this month that it went away, so that service is no longer available. Huey, this is your article.
I love that picture, by the way.
Yeah.
And for those on the podcast, it's a picture of bookcases many stories high with rounded edges and posts and so on. I grabbed that picture and I made a virtual background for Zoom. It only uses part of it, but it looks, and it didn't look as good as I had hoped it would. But what the article is saying is Google is so powerful that go ahead and go back down again a little bit, so I can read what it's saying there. Google is so powerful that it hides other search engine systems from us. We just don't know that the existence of most of them. And so what this article does, it lists some other search engines that are out there. And a couple of them I have not even heard of before, and I'm going to go try. So if you are looking for something, sometimes you don't find it easily, or sometimes you don't find it at all using Google search. And there are other search engines out there that you can use.
Mm-hmm. All right. Very good. Let's have a look here. This was just Dewey's segment he did on Tech for Senior Monday. I didn't know the Chevy Bolt was going away. Yeah, that was interesting. He completely caught me off guard on that. But the automobile, the electric vehicle that Chevy Bolt is going by the way.
When the batteries catch on fire.
Yeah.
A couple more comments. I'd like to go back. Let's see.
Any more comments first?
Let's see. Yeah, Jolyn, when I was talking about the collage, she says you can do a collage in Photoshop Elements, but a lot more work. But what you can't do in Photoshop Elements, if you want to crop something, you can only square crop it. You can only take something off the top, the sides, and so on. Where this allows, the program that I was using allows me to crop just kind of freehand any area of a picture that I wanted to. And then Steve suggested try layering in Photoshop. Again, you can't cut out certain things. You can try overlaying one layer over another, but it's more fun to have curved edges and cut out the things first and then overlay them with different layers. And that's what I've been doing. But I can do that within the program. And then Olive said, how will Samsung phones compare to Tesla Model Pi phones? I think Tesla's coming out with a phone too. At least there's some articles
about that coming up, but we probably won't get to them. But anyway, so this is an article, and it says PayPal gets stung by bad actors, shuts 4.5 million accounts down. Now, I read this last night after Bob posted it. It said I couldn't sleep very well, Bob, last night. I was worried about you were going to please explain what this means.
Well, PayPal was running a promotion to entice more accounts, and they got burnt because some hackers found a way to make lots of money at the expense of PayPal. Again, somebody in their advertising department figured that this was going to get them lots and lots of customers, and it kind of backfired because they were giving out $10 for each new account. And just
so
as you can, somebody
they
didn't
found
get 10 accounts, somebody got thousands and thousands of dollars.
They found a way to do it with bots and make it all automated, and they just created hundreds and hundreds and thousands of accounts, and were able to get the $5 or $10 for doing each one.
Well, figure 4.5 million times 10.
Right. But there was never any evidence that there was fraud.
No. This is not fraud. Accounts. This is just somebody in the advertising department thought that this was a good way to get added customers. And they didn't think that, the hackers would get into this. And they hit them for lots of money. It's not fraud. It's just somebody was not careful in designing and preventing somebody to take advantage of it. I mean, we saw that with lots of other things that Uncle Sam put out. There's always a bad actor that's going to take advantage when you're trying to help somebody, or in this case, just give you $10 for signing up for PayPal.
Well, I use PayPal an awful lot. We were talking a bit about that before the show, and I really use it a lot. So
do I, and I am going to continue to use it.
Yeah, okay, good. We're safe. Jolin says, Huey, yes, you can do freeform selection within Photoshop Elements. There you go.
Do you use Photoshop Elements? I don't.
You're muted. You're muted, Huey. Huey, you're muted. Huey, you're muted.
Oh, yeah, I guess I am, aren't I? But I will do a video to show how easy it is to do it in this program. It's not as easy to do with Photoshop Elements. But I do own and use Photoshop Elements a lot.
All right. So, Bob, I guess with the Super Bowl coming up, this is one of the best times to buy a television. If you haven't bought one on Black Friday or for Christmas, good heavens, you think everybody at least has 6 televisions. What's with this? You've got
57-inch TV for $400.
This is Vizio packed Dolby Vision HDR into a 4K smart TV for just $400, eh?
Yep. Huh. And not a small TV. It's almost 60 inches. So.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
You're one of the last American companies still making televisions.
Yeah. Now, Bob, you've got a new video out on, as you know, the browser. Everyone, your Chrome browser, and we're not talking about Chromebooks in the Chrome OS, but we're talking about the Chrome browser, is now version 98. And of course, there's some new features in there. Bob, was there any specific, I know you made a video about this, which is great. Is there anything you want to sort of key?
Well, there are 2 features that I thought were very helpful that are brand new if you're running 98. And this video shows you those 2 features.
Mm-hmm.
One of them has to do with sharing one of the tabs.
Right.
And the other one, good. Senior moment at the time you need your brain.
Welcome to my world.
Maybe I should watch the video again.
Yeah, well,
I only made it, but
if you're using the Google browser to find out what version you have, you go to the 3 dots at the top right, and then go to the help, and then
about,
and then it's what
about.
Yeah, you go to help and about Google Chrome, and when you do, you'll see what version it is, and it also will check to see if there's a newer version.
Yeah. But it should just update automatically because it'll just do it.
It should and does, or can sometimes be different.
Yep.
All right. But you have the video, Bob, and when we want to look at that, we just go and look at your video.
Just click the link.
Click the link.
Here's an article from George, a comment from George.
If I comment on your news articles on Facebook, our comments don't get on Facebook Live. That is correct. That is correct. You have to put them in the Facebook Live comments for us. This was an article that came out about. This is to do with Chromebooks. This is an article that came out from Chrome Unboxed. Strange Chrome OS 97 bug keeps users from printing on HP printers. Now, there is the current operating system on the Chrome OS on your Chromebook is 97. And there was an update, I guess maybe a week and a half ago. And since that update, people have been having trouble printing on their HP printers. The question is, I don't think they're going to bring out an update to 97 because, as you know, we're getting monthly updates now. So Chrome OS 98 should be out this week or next week. So it will probably fix that problem. So if you are having problems printing on your HP printer, on your Chromebook, help is on its way and you're not alone. All right. So just remember that. But that should be fixed soon.
The biggest problem with a bug like that is all of a sudden, if you can't print, you're pulling your hair out. What I do wrong? What did I do? And then you start trying to fix it by changing everything in your system.
Right.
And then you finally learn, oh, wait a minute, it's a bug and it has nothing to do with me.
Right.
And it can be really frustrating when these things happen.
Absolutely.
Right. Don't go start changing a bunch of settings and deleting this or doing that. Just wait. It'll get fixed. All right.
Research it first.
Yeah. Usually if everything works fine and the next morning things don't, before you start pulling your hair out and start making changes, do a search.
Absolutely.
And quite often you'll find out, oh my goodness, I'm not the only one. Lots of people are having the problem. But then at least you won't be making changes that can really cause you a problem.
Yeah, I always use a second computer and try to do the same thing to a printer as an example and see if the same thing happens. And if it's
but in this case, it's the operating system or the Chrome operating system that has the bug. So unless you have two Chromebooks and one of them is on a different operating system, you really wouldn't know that it was. But a search will let you know that it's a problem with the operating system.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
This is a new news article that came out now. As you know, that I'm quite interested in watches and the cardiac function of watches, and particularly when one can do ECGs for you. Particularly, we're looking at atrial fibrillation and sort of figuring out if you have that or not, which is important for seniors. Now, aside from smartwatches, AliveCore has this, and I've shown you this many times in some of the videos that I've done, is this little device that you can purchase, and it's a little pad. It's usually around $70, and it's made by AliveCore, which has been making this equipment for a long time. You can buy it at Best Buy, and it's a little pad that you put your two fingers on, and it will do the ECG for you. Now, AliveCore has just brought out a first credit card sized personal ECG. So now they've got a new machine out. It's like a credit card. Keep it in your wallet, and if you need to do an ECG, if you're concerned about atrial fibrillation, it will tell you if you have atrial fibrillation or not. And it's like a credit card. It just keeps in your wallet. And this is a new product that just came out this week, and you'll see that in at Best Buy and so on and so forth. So I wanted just to let everybody know about that. And then we're getting pretty close to getting out. What do we got? 1 minute left. Huey, the last one I really wanted to show you. Are you going to talk about this on Monday? SpaceX.
Not yet. but I have read some articles. SpaceX reveals a $500 monthly premium Starlink service with speeds up to 500 megabits per second, but that's only down. The
Right.
up will not be that fast. The ups will be about 30. I think I saw around 35 to 40. And it's a different dish. The dish itself is going to cost, I believe it was either $3,000 or $5,000.
Oh, really? Oh, it's not the same dish.
It's geared
It's not
more
the
to
same
businesses
dish.
than individuals. It's for businesses more than individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Greg,
But
of course, Greg on our show on Monday, he has Starlink, and he did some testing. He was telling us last time he's getting 300 download on his, and he has the personal use one,
Yeah.
So that's pretty fun.
But this is a special premium level that costs more for the dish and it costs more for the account.
Ah, interesting. Well, listen, it's top of the hour. I want to thank everyone for coming. Thank you for all the comments and questions and stuff and we've had a great time today. I don't know where the hour went, you guys. Did you have a good time today?
Yeah, it's just talking about tech, and that's what we like doing.
Just I don't know what I'd rather do on Thursday morning, hang out with you guys and talk about tech. That's sort of fun, eh? So yes, so we'll anyway, anything else any other comments before we go, Huey? Thanks. Good show. Thanks, John. We will this of course is recorded and you can watch it now on of course Facebook or YouTube, and it's also going to be out later today as a podcast. So if you want to listen to it
tomorrow, I thought it comes out tomorrow at 10 or same time as this show.
It will be there. It will be there at that time as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you guys for coming, and thanks everyone for listening. We will we'll see everybody probably same time, same place next week, and certainly for the show on Monday. We have a big show lined up for Monday, so please come and listen. Until next week, we will see you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.